Star Wars is arguably the most influential film series of all time. Ever since its initial release in 1977 with A New Hope, fans across the globe have been obsessed with this franchise. People go nuts every time a new project is announced. But I just don't feel the same way about this series. At least, not as a whole. I know this is going to upset a lot of hardcore, loyal Star Wars fans, but hear me out. I should probably start by saying that I don't hate all of Star Wars. I just hate everything that came out after the original trilogy. And the reason why I dislike those later movies, books, shows, comics, or whatever, is because it takes away from what made the original trilogy so great and so meaningful to begin with. To help me explain this, let me dig into one scene in A New Hope that I believe perfectly sums up what made this franchise so great to begin with. That's the binary sunset scene. This scene is significant, and I would add perfect, because in it we see the sense of wonder that the original movies created in full display. Luke walks out of his home, and he's a young man eager to explore the world and see what else is out there. But at the moment, it appears that he's stuck on the ground, and he knows he likely won't be able to leave for some time. When he looks up to see, he sees the two large orange suns setting in unison, reminding him of how large the universe is and how much out there is left for him to explore. All this is accompanied by a very dramatic soundtrack that perfectly kind of demonstrates the angst, wonder, and curiosity that this character is facing at this time. It builds this perfect sense of wonder and mystery that resembles what I felt as a young boy when I would look up at the stars. This sense of wonder and mystery would continue as Luke slowly learns about the Force and his relationship with his father, Darth Vader, later in the films. And in doing so, I would argue it allows the original trilogy to explore themes such as, faith versus reason, as we saw kind of between the philosophic debate between Obi-Wan and Han Solo, as well as themes of duty. Even though in the second and third films, this universe was explored in somewhat greater details, it always explored it in a way that left a lot to the imagination, and therefore didn't remove the sense of wonder and mystery out of this universe that they had created. The perfect example of of that was how they never went into details about exactly how Darth Vader turned to the dark side. They just said he was seduced by the dark side and he was gone. He had just lost himself in who he was. This is something that the newer movies, especially the prequels, but also the larger kind of canon universe through all the books and everything and the shows, kind of destroys. The greater Star Wars universe seeks to explain and explore every element of this world, its history and just everything about it, which again, it completely destroys what made these original films so powerful to watch. We don't need to know the history of the origins of the Force or the Jedi. Not knowing every detail about them is what makes the Force so wonderful and what piques your imagination, that sense of mystery. Also, another thing that makes these movies so charming, the original films, is that these films they managed to do so much with such limited technology. Yes, some of the explosions might look fake by modern standards, but I would argue that despite that, the original films feel more real and immersive because they didn't overuse CGI. The new films rely very much so on unnecessary visual effects, CGI, computer generated stuff, and it just feels more like a cartoon than anything. So again, maybe the title of this film is somewhat misleading and even maybe a little clickbaity. I'm trying to build a channel here, but but I don't hate Star Wars. I just hate what the franchise has become. Anyway, if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'm trying to get to 10 subscribers within the next couple weeks, so anything would really be appreciated. Thanks, guys.